Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday Night Super Nitro. We got a special night tonight with a truck night and an alliance with, or not alliance, a crossover with Rebel Valley, where we're gonna have Ryan Wayne in the booth tonight. Welcome to the booth, Ryan.
Hey, what's up there, Luke? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Very excited to have you in the booth. This is gonna be a real fun night of racing. Last time we did trucks on a super speedway, we had a 4 wide photo finish, so I gotta say I have my hopes up for this one.
We got a really solid field of drivers here tonight here for race number 1, and you really never know what.
Okay, we were muted to start. Now everyone can hear us. We are here for Wednesday Night Super Nitro with a crossover with Rebel Valley. We got Ryan Wayne in the booth. Thank you for being able to actually talk this time, Ryan.
Yeah, we've had a interesting last few minutes, that's for sure. I mean, right before the stream started, I lost power, so it was a last-minute entry to get into this stream. But yeah, glad to be here and commentate these races here in Super Nitro.
Well, I'm very excited for tonight. As we look on the track, qualifying is underway. There are a lot of drivers in this field. Makes me wonder if we're going to have the big one.
It might not be. It might be like 2 or 3 big ones with the amount of trucks we have in here. I mean, we almost have a full truck series field. I mean, 34 entries. I mean, the chances for a big one are at least 75%, maybe higher.
Races with this many people are why I have a love-hate relationship with fast repairs. Because it's good to give everybody a chance to get back into it, but it's bad when you have a bunch of people and you know that they're going to wreck a bunch of times.
Yeah, and Luke, you also mentioned beforehand the last race on Super Nitro had a 5 wide finish at Echo Park Speedway, and are we going to be able to see a replication of that from last race, or what do you kind of expect here for race number 1 at Talladega?
I expect it to be dirty and a little crazy, because it seems like every time we do Super Speedway with these guys, everything goes off the rails. It's really fun to watch, though. You got to be looking
Yeah, it's
at the
always good to
usual.
see these drivers in here making their debut or regular newcomers here, especially with this crossover tonight with Rebel Valley. We've got a couple guys from Rebel Valley in here that I think will be interesting to watch. We know Marty Shmela, how good he is on the super speedways. Chase Ingram is another driver that runs really well on super speedways. Derek Skladell's another guy that's very underrated. You also have Aaron May as well. So we've got an intriguing field tonight, and we'll see how this all plays out here in race number 1.
I've really got my eyes on Marty Shmela and his gang of drivers because they were running circles around everybody on Sunday night when we did the stream. He managed to get the first night sweep in Super Nitro history and also the first sweep of a night on any stream for MCM Motorsports history. They had 9 cars entered out of 30 in the first race we did.
Yeah, that's crazy to think. I mean, no limits in the virtual world, that's for sure. You know, in the real life world, there's about 5 to 6 max entries you can have in the series, and For him to have 9 is just very impressive.
I didn't even know he had that many numbers that they could use. Saw 8, 08, and 88 on his cars. Meanwhile, in qualifying, it looks like Kyle Watlington is going to head to the top of the board with a 54-second lap. And as I say that, McGillen unseats him. And then Skladel unseats McGillen. And then flips violently. There's a lot
Aaron
going
made it
on
to
in
the
these
top.
qualifying sessions. Aaron May, no stranger to starting on the pole on a super speedway.
Might
And
have been a little bit of
Ingram,
a jinx because now Ingram goes to the top.
very contested pole battle right now. Some new drivers. There are some faces in here, or some names I don't recognize in here. A couple of guys, like you said, from Rebel Valley. Gonna be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
But William Clark goes to the pole. He's going to usurp Chase Ingram right there. So move William Clark to the pole.
Marty Shamela down in 27th on the board right now. I don't know if that's deliberate or if he hasn't completed his lap yet, but a little uncharacteristic out of Marty.
It wouldn't surprise me if this was deliberate just to start at the back, because you know things are going to get crazy here. Well, as soon as I say that, he goes to the top of the charts.
Yep, definitely was a second option. I guess he didn't complete his lap yet.
Yeah, and beat out William Clark by 3/1000ths of a second, too.
Very, very close. The top three only separated by 5/1000ths. And with that, qualifying's over, so Shamela is going to end up on the pole. We have William Clark in second, Chase Ingram in third. I lost my timing. Oh, Chase Ingram in third, Joe Nordine in fourth, and Derek Turner in fifth.
You got the Lizard Man himself, Aaron May, who's going to be in P6. Eric Skladel is going to be 7th. Derek Shaver, a stranger to Victory Lane in Rebel Valley on the Super Speedways. He's going to start P8. We got Chris Phillips in 9th, and then Donald Stewart will round out our top 10.
A lot of interesting names in here. Gonna be interesting. I don't know if is William Clark from Rebel Valley, or is that?
No, he's never run a race in Rebel Valley ever. So this is just a random guy joining this hosted session, wants to run some trucks at Talladega and see if he can make a name for himself here tonight.
Happy to see it, but I know when I'm racing, I usually don't trust people I don't recognize. It's gonna be interesting to see if everyone's gonna be willing to work with him.
One guy I'm going to keep my eye on is P4, Joe Nordine. I've seen him race in Rebel Valley before. Believe it or not, in one of the radioactive segments on Rebel Valley, on the Speed and Racing Network YouTube channel, he was actually one of the guys that always was chirping on the radioactive, always complained about the driver's ability on the racetrack. And well, I'll tell you what, he's going to be an interesting one to watch, starting P4 right there on the outside of row number 2.
Always fun to see drivers really getting into it and getting emotional. Although there is downsides to that as well. Looks like most of the field is gridded, waiting on a couple drivers. I think my pick for this race is going to be Chase Ingram. He always shows out on the super speedways. Likes to be a factor and is really aggressive, which, with the way the truck draft package is only helpful.
Yeah, Chase Ingram is a great pick. He's a guy back in Rebel Valley as well that has achieved a number of wins on the restrictor plate tracks. I'm looking through the rest of this field. I mean, you could really make a case for anybody. I mean, it's Talladega. Anybody could win this race. But I feel like track position is probably going to be a key today. I would like to be on the outside line here, drafting-wise. You see they just about wreck on the pacing laps. But I think if there's one guy I'm going to keep my eye on here today, I'm looking through this field. I like where Marty Shamela is. I think he's going to get another win here in Super Nitro. He's a guy just knows how to position himself at the front, and I feel like he's going to be the guy that wins here for race number 1.
Marty Shamela has been stinking up the show lately. Can't say I'm mad at it because he's winning clean, but it does get a little crazy when you don't see anyone other than him win. So a full 35 truck field for race 1. This is the most trucks we've had. Actually, this is the most vehicles of any type of race we've had on Super Nitro. It's our 4th stream, so already looking pretty good for our community.
Yeah, we got 30 cars currently on track right now. We had 35 loaded into the session. We got 30 trucks currently on track, and just ready to put on a show here for race number 1. I think we've got a good one in stores. Hopefully these guys can keep it clean for the most part.
The field making their way through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to get things wound up. The early laps of this race are really important, where everyone's feeling out their trucks, getting ready to see how they're going to handle in the draft, and maybe if you're aggressive enough to try to gain some spots.
Expect the aggression early on, too. I wouldn't be surprised to see that third lane start on lap 1, maybe at the beginning of lap number 2.
Oh, the pace car making its way down pit road. The field getting the lines tight on the front straightaway. Marty Shamela gonna lead the field into the restart zone. Green flag is out here on Truck Night on Super Nitro. Pretty even start from the first 2 lanes. Very organized on the top side. Mostly too wide throughout the field.
Yeah, it's kind of like you talk about everyone trying to get in line here, try to feel out what their trucks are going to be like. You see the outside line starting to get a little bit of a surge here with William Clark in the 49 and Joe Nordine. And we'll see if Aaron May's trying to work his way up the third line. He's going to peek back behind the number 3 of Nordine.
That's a hornet's nest back there, but the first 5 rows are 2x2. Everybody just feeling out where they're going. And the third lane is forming. They're all the way up to 5th in line. 4 or 5 trucks going up there as we head into the trioval.
Yeah, that's Chris Phillips right there, the number 6. He's got a dancing partner right behind him in that third lane. That's the number 63 of Steve Thibodeau. But these guys are going to be cleaning green on lap 1. You see Aaron May now going to form that third line of the 10.
May has help from the 30 truck of Shaver. And we are 3 wide through the entire field. All these trucks, you could throw a blanket over the entire top 25.
Yeah, Marty Schmela with that slow block in the middle, though, and that's going to hold up that middle line. And you see, yeah, Marty dropping back. That's going to give Aaron May the race lead. He's going to take Derek Shaver, his Chevrolet teammate, right behind him.
That top line clearly works. May was able to jump up several rows. And as I say that, Derek Shaver going to make a move to his inside. Help from Phillips, and they're going to take the lead.
Yeah, Aaron May left out dry there in that middle line. You see Marty Schmela, our pulsar, are going to fall in right behind the number 6. But you see the 01 and the 10 going to try to work together. Those 2 friends are going to try to work their way back up toward the front as Derek Shaver is going to be our race leader here.
Derek Shaver trying to play the role of the Pied Piper and leading all the lanes here at Talladega.
Oh, Sliddell's around.
Oh, and a big wreck. That's got to be half the field.
No caution as of yet. The Advents are going to keep this green for right now. But, yeah, see Lieben Van Leer, Bruce Dudley, Justin McCall, even a green.
It's having a little bit of trouble with the cameras getting there to show the wreck. Meanwhile, at the front, we have lost a significant number of positions. Only about 10 trucks in the lead draft at the moment.
And you are exactly right on that number. There are only 10 trucks right now in this lead pack. It's all led by the number 10 of Aaron May. He's got William Clark, the pole sitter, right behind him. And we haven't talked at all about the number 74 of Austin Hobart, who's done a great job working his way through this field up plus 21 spots from the start of this race.
Very impressive stuff out of Hobart. You got to wonder why the admins didn't decide to throw a caution there. That wiped out almost half the field.
These guys wanted to play it out. If we get another wreck, maybe a caution at the halfway point. But Yeah, these guys decided to keep it green just for now, but we got the 10, the 49, the 01, all single file, trying to take control of this race.
It's going to be interesting to see how moves are made in the lead pack. With less cars, there are less energy, so they are going to have to have as much help as possible. May has control as we head into the tri-oval, heading to complete lap 4. The top side appears to have the advantage heading into 1 and 2. Aaron May leading William Clark on the outside, Ingram behind them, and 2x2 through the rest of the field. Ingram makes a move to the inside. He's going to have a run. Not able to clear May, but able to clear second place, or at least get to door to door. Derek Shaver goes topside, and we're 3 wide once again in the lead draft.
Yeah, the 01 of Chase Ingram might have made himself a sitting duck right there. It seems like the outside line is the preferred line right now. But yeah, Derek Shaver in that 30 making a lot of nice moves as he's working back to the back bumper with this number 10 of Aaron May. He's going to give him a shove as well as they work their way into the tri-oval. And Aaron Hall's around the 76.
Everybody keeps it straight, and the caution is out. If I'm being honest, that was less caution-worthy than the first crash. Not gonna have to ask the admins after this one what the logic was.
Well, I'm also not surprised we had another wreck. These guys were getting a little aggressive right here, and we had a 10-truck pack up front, and it was just bound to happen. And we're under our first caution today here with 20 laps to go.
We're going to take a look at the replay. I believe it was Aaron Ha who lost control of his number 76 Silverado, and that kind of took out everybody. So he was third in line on the third lane, getting a push from Phillips, and Phillips just got him out of control coming out of turn 4. Tried to save it, hit the wall, and came down the track right into the rest of the field. Big contact with the 75 of Nordine. Shamela able to avoid it miraculously, had to drive down pit road. Nordine was able to keep it straight. Ha didn't even hit anything too bad. And then the caution came out. Really could have been a lot worse considering the way that 76 got thrown down the track.
You never want to be sitting parallel right in the middle of the racetrack with oncoming traffic. I'm very surprised that was only a 3-truck accident because that could have been a whole lot worse, especially with that second pack closing in. But admins threw the caution, and we'll see which drivers here come down pit road to maybe repair some damage and just kind of chill at the back. And you see the 49 is the first one coming in. That's William Clark.
Yeah, William Clark leading him down, has a few others behind him with damaged race trucks. We're down to 29 drivers. So we've lost 6 after the first 2 crashes, only one of which bringing out the caution. That is the beautiful
Yeah, I'm just looking
thing.
around pit road right now. It looks like a couple trucks just repairing some damage. I see a fuel only on the number 6 of Chris Phillips, but majority of the field just stayed out.
Well, there's really no reason to pit. Tires don't matter a whole lot at a super speedway, and we have more than enough fuel to make it. Only a 25-lap race, so it is well within the fuel range.
Yeah, a lot of those guys that came down pit road probably just wanted to check for damage just to make sure that they're good to go here. Don't want to hurt them too much, especially when they get in the draft.
As of right now, we have 27 trucks on the lead lap. Still a lot of guys who have a shot to make things happen in the main draft. This caution definitely is what a lot of the guys caught up in that first incident were looking for, because when we rack them up once again, they have a shot to go back through the field. Especially if they had the opportunity to get their damage fixed.
Especially with one fast repair for all of these drivers, you want to ensure you have that fast repair toward the end of the race, especially when things get very hairy. But we were under caution here for the first time as these drivers are allowed to get their laps back on the outside of the racetrack. We've got the number 10 of Aaron May out front, with the top 3 all occupied right now by the Chevrolet bow ties.
Definitely a familiar sight to see that number 10 truck leading the field. He's going to have to work for on this restart with Chase Ingram and Derek Shaver behind him. Those two have been very aggressive with the pushing and the blocking so far in this race.
You talk about how crazy these super speedway races are. A lot of guys have worked their way through the field here so far. I mean, Austin Hobart up 20 spots from the start of this race. He's right there in P4. Steve Thibodeau, we saw, made some moves early. He's worked his way up to P5. You got Mason Gubick and Joshua Fireball Colbreth, 2 drivers that ran to the Asphalt 500 and were both teammates. They're running 7th and 8th right now, and they've gained 22 spots combined, respectively.
Very impressive drive out of Hobart. He's actually my teammate over at Tier 1. Not usually have him pegged as a super speedway guy. Mostly runs short tracks, I believe.
Hey, what? I think this is the first time I've ever seen a truck with the number on the deck lid. You never see that at all. And interesting number placement right there with the 74, just placing his number right on the deck lid, right below that Ford Racing logo.
Very interesting to see. As a designer, I often struggle to figure out things to put there. That does fill up the space pretty good. Well, heading down the back straightaway, getting ready to turn him loose once again. Going to be very interesting to see how this restart goes. We have a lot of trucks left. Not much attrition in this race so far. 28 still on the track.
Especially for a super speedway standards. Bunch of trucks left. A very high chance for another big one and or torn up race truck. So long way to go, but we'll see who can come away victorious here in race number 1.
Sorry to all the viewers about that stuttering. My internet was having a little bit of a problem. Well, here we go. The pace car are going to retreat to the safety of pit road, and we're ready to go rocking and rolling once again in Talladega. Heading into the restart zone. And Aaron May going to lead us back to green. The green flag is back out here in Talladega. May with a good jump on the restart. Going to get a couple of truck lengths between him and Derek Shaver. Goes up to block the top lane.
I almost kind of wonder if that was a coordinated move by the 10 and the 01, because they do both work together here on these super speedway races. It almost seemed like a coordinated move to keep them 1-2.
It wouldn't surprise me if those two were trying to work together. We got one truck way on the inside in the background. Everybody real spread out down the back straightaway the first lap after the restart. And Derek Shaver's going to get shuffled. He has no help down in the bottom lane at the front.
They're going to try to leave Aaron May out. No, Aaron May's actually going to block on top. I thought he was going to be left in the sucker hole in the middle, but he's still going to hold on to this race lead, though, as he's continuing to have some help from the 01 of Chase Ingram.
3 trucks on the outside. We got 5 lined up on the bottom. You definitely want to be in the lane that has the most trucks, but those guys on the top line are putting up a fight despite their lack of numbers at the moment.
Yeah, the difference, though, the bottom line is not very coordinated. You're not seeing a whole lot of pushing from the 63 of Steve Thibodeau to push the back bumper, the number 30 of Derek Shaver, and just because of that, they're going to fall back out of line. And how about another guy we haven't talked about either? This 27 of Kyle Watlington has worked his way up to this main pack as he's up to P4.
Very impressive stuff out of him to work his way through the field. He's going to make a move to lead the bottom line, trying to take the lead from Aaron May. Not going to have the momentum to do it. Marty Shamela back up towards the front of the pack. I believe he had to pit under the caution. So good to see him. And Aaron May is going to be put in the middle through the tri-oval, having no help, and he's going to lose a lot of positions.
And that is a helpless feeling to be right there in the middle. We'll see if the 10 has anybody going to work with him right now, but he's going to fall all the way back inside of top 10s. We got another crash going to turn 1. I think that's the 76 of Aaron Hall. Oh, that's a huge hit. The 60 of Lieben Van Leer, the 51 Derek Skladel.
Looks like we're going to keep it green. Saw the tail end of that on my cameras, but that was definitely a huge hit for the 60. Impressive stuff to not wreck more trucks, but we definitely lost a few of them there. Still a lot more trucks in the lead pack than after the first incident we had on track. Going to be interesting to see how things keep shaping up because they are getting very aggressive with the pushing.
And we saw some contact in trial. I couldn't tell who that was. I think it's another 01 car. I'm trying to figure out who that is. It's like a light blue and orange and white scheme. They made contact with the 01 of Chase Ingram. That was a near wreck there in the trial. You see Marty Shmela trying to start that third line again with the number 72 of Mason Gubick.
Where Shmela goes, people will follow. He's always having people trying to work with him. Starting to make up a little bit of ground on the top side. Seems like the bottom has the advantage now compared to when the top had it earlier. And Shmela gets a bad push in the middle of the corner. He's going to make contact with Ingram. Somehow hangs on to it. That was really close to being a wreck, and we got a couple trucks around.
At the entrance.
And the caution's out once again.
Eric Turner in the 51, Joshua Halford also in another 51, and then you got Justin McCall in the 8. Those are the 3 trucks involved right at the entrance of pit road.
Gonna take a look at the replay there. We're gonna have to take a look at the replay for the hit for Libin Van Leer because that was humongous. Didn't have a chance to look at it because there wasn't a caution. Looking at the incident that brought out the caution, I believe it was just typical super speedway pinball happening because Marty got a bad push in the middle of the corner, started to get out of control, managed to save it, but they just all stacked up behind him. One truck ended up on the apron, overcorrected trying to save it, and ended up taking out 2 others. None of the trucks in the wreck look like they have terminal damage, which is fortunate for everybody. And looking further back at the crash for Livin Van Leer, not exactly sure what happened to cause that. Things were starting to get hectic throughout the field. A couple trucks weren't on the track, and then just a bad push from Van Leer to the 26 and the 76. And he just gets hooked and goes head on into the outside safer barrier. A huge hit for that 60 machine.
Yeah, never a good sign when you're going nose first into the turn 1 wall at 180 miles an hour. That's just terminal damage there for the 60 of Lieben Van Leer. We saw him bring that number 60 truck or actually tow that number 60 truck to pit road. But my gosh, what a vicious hit right there for the 60.
Gonna have a talk with the admins to see what the logic is behind some of these cautions because there was at least 10 cars involved with the Livin Van Leer incident and only 3 involved with the incident that actually brought out the caution. I don't know if they just missed it or if they thought it was in the back, but I feel like just if you have that many trucks spinning out, it kind of has to constitute a caution to keep it fair.
Yeah, we'll have to get their thoughts on that. But also another thing that was missed while we were talking over the replays, we just had one driver that was just booted from the session. It was the 00 of George Howell showing up as sim racing stamp number 18. He actually intent wrecked a driver under caution right past the start-finish line. So admins decided to remove him for intent wrecking. So that is one less truck out on the racetrack.
We're going to have to take a look at that on the broadcast. Not sure what would have happened. Was there beef between him and another driver?
To be honest, looking over the replay, I didn't really see a whole lot. I don't understand what that was all about, but yeah, we saw an intent wreck with the number 18. He's the 00 on the custom numbers, but at the 18 of George Jewell has just been removed from the session for intent wrecking.
He picked a fight with the 62. Not sure who that is. Oh, it's Brandon Hawk. not sure what could have caused that. I haven't really seen those two running together. Very strange. Not sure if the driver of the 00 is in the Discord server, but we do not take intent wrecking lightly here at Super Nitro, so if he was in the server, he would be getting a warning and a potential suspension for that. There's no reason to be wrecking people under caution.
I didn't understand what that beef was all about. Those two were side or next to each other. In that draft, just a little, just completely uncalled for. I don't know what that was all about, but we're gonna go green here next time by with 10 laps to go.
Wyatt Youngblood up to some shenanigans in the middle of the pack as usual. Decided to go mow the grass under pacing.
I mean, to be fair, look at the scheme he's driving. Carson Hocevar. They call him the Hurricane. Very fitting. He's in that 77.
Well, after the events of the last couple laps, we've lost a lot more drivers, down to 23 on the track, with several others that may be on the pits, but I believe we only have 23 left. They're dropping like flies right now. You knew it was going to happen, but we still haven't seen the big one. Most of these crashes have been separated incidents, either at the back of the field or only a couple trucks involved. Although with 10 to go, you know that things are going to ramp up in terms of aggression. Just there's no more time for give and take.
You can't wait around, especially with 10 laps to go. You got to work your way to the front and put yourself in the right spot right at the end of this race.
A lot of drivers at the front that we haven't seen or even talked about. Do you have any of these new ones up in the front that you have your eye on?
Well, looking through this top 10, it's not a lot of guys that we've seen running in either of these two series. Derek Shaver is a guy that has run, and he won recently in Rebel Valley at Echo Park Speedway, had a photo finish. I think he's a guy that is definitely going to make some moves. I've been impressed with the 74 of Austin Hobart, though. He's been a guy that's made calculated moves, and he might position himself in the best spot to win this race. So if there's anybody right now in this top 10, it's got to be most likely maybe the 74 of Austin Hobart. You also got Marty Schmela as well in that number 8, who's right behind the 74.
Always got to have your eye on Schmela. He really is good at making his way towards the front at the end of these things. Heading into the restart zone, we're going to be green once again here in Talladega with only 10 laps to go. A lot more organized of a restart, and we already have the third lane formed in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's go time here with 10 laps to go, but unfortunately that third line is starting to lose a little bit of steam right there. That's the 01 of Chase Ingram you see in that third line, and now he's going to ditch that number 57 Bojangles machine of Michael Parton Jr. and send him to the back.
Meanwhile, we're 2x2 at the front. Everybody pushing the person in front of them as hard as they can. It's very aggressive now. You have to be taking everything you can get. Actually, a 3-truck breakaway at the front with Derek Shaver leading them.
A 3-truck breakaway here by 0.2 of a second. You see Mason Gubick there in the 72. He's getting some help from the truck right behind him. I think that's Joshua Fireball Culberth, that Interstate Batteries number 18. But yeah, these guys are starting to pull away now by 0.4 of a second.
You got to wonder how far out is too far out, because there is a point where these guys in line are going to have an advantage. Although it hasn't seemed to show up yet, and putting up to almost half a second between them and the rest of the field.
And if you're the drivers right behind this 27 of Kyle Watlington, you're probably just screaming over the radio right now. Just tell them to go, go, go. Let's get in line and catch this lead pack, because right now these first 3 trucks still pulling away by 0.4 of a second.
Very impressive stuff. It's not often you see people work together long enough to get a gap like this in a hosted session. With Shaver, Ledford, and Hawk nose to tail. And here we go. The rest of the pack gets things organized. They're starting to make up the ground that they lost.
Kyle Watlington, that 27. We'll see what he's going to do with this run. I think he's going to go to the middle line here, and he's going to get right into the 62 right there going into the middle of the turn. But It's going to be 8 laps to go this time by.
Watlington gets shuffled to the top line, and they lose all of the momentum they gained, and we still have 2 trucks with a gap to the rest of the field, and we are 3 wide the rest of the pack on back. Everyone jostling for position as we head down the super stretch.
I did not like that move from the 27 of Kyle Watlington. He tried to do a side draft on the 62, and it just completely backfired on him, and he's going to lose all of his momentum as he drops all the way back here. It looks like he's going to be looking at timing and scoring right now. He's fallen all the way back to 16th, so poor move right there by the 27.
Running out of time to get back to the front, but it's not entirely impossible if you time the run right. And now we have Gubic and Shaver duking it out for the lead. It looks like Gubic has the advantage by the time we get to the line. He's getting pushed very hard by that 18 machine.
Or 4 wide right behind him, too. That's White, Youngblood, Elliott Condra, and Chase Ingram, as they are 4 wide right behind there for about 10th place. Yeah, Colbreth and the 72 of Gubic work together in the Asphalt 500. They're trying to rekindle that magic here as they're going to be side by side here down the backstretch.
Finally managed to get that 4 wide worked out. 3 wide everywhere, and we got a truck that blew a motor down the back straightaway.
That's the 01 of Jeffrey Ledford that's way off the pace there.
Very unfortunate turn of events for him. Never want to see a blown motor. Impressive to blow a motor that far ahead of the field without wrecking. And we got a big wreck.
Around, along with Austin Hober. This is going to be the big one.
The 62, the 63 almost upside down, and that is everybody. We got Richard May involved, Youngblood, Ingram also involved. That was definitely the big one we've been talking about all night.
You had Derek Slidell in the 51 involved. The 62 of Brandon Hawk was involved. That's our big one. It happened here with 6 to go.
Gonna take a look at the replay. Everyone side by side. Shamela getting a big push in the middle lane. Didn't really see anything that caused this. And then Youngblood just gets off-centered from the 63 truck he was pushing as we get out of the turn 4. And the 63 goes flying into the air. Somehow doesn't get turned over. Condra gets turned hard into the outside wall, along with the 62, the 01, the 51. Aaron May also getting involved. Got another 51 truck. Not sure who that was. That was Halford in the 21, actually. That was the big one. That took out all of the drivers we were keeping our eye on. Very unfortunate for a lot of these guys for it to turn out like this. It was Thibodeau.
That's just a prime example of a bad push gone wrong.
I can't believe how high in the air the 63 of Thibodeau got. Just that thing went flying as soon as it got sideways. A very large crash. I'm going to estimate that we had at least 12 trucks involved there. Maybe more. A lot was happening. Pit road is a busy place under this caution. And we got one truck that got sideways in the pits. It was Nordine. Somehow managed to crash trying to get into his pit stall. Gubic has
most of the field that just pitted there probably just used their fast repair.
You gotta think so. With so few laps left, it wouldn't make sense to save it at this point. Down to 20 trucks remaining on the track. Gonna have to see by the time we get to the 1 to green how many are actually able to keep running. That one thinned the herd a lot compared to the previous accidents, though.
I would have to agree with that for sure. And I wouldn't surprise me if we see another big one here toward the end of this race. We'll see what happens with iRacing timing and scoring here. I think we're going to go back to green with about 3 laps to go in this race here for race number 1. Here with this crossover with Super Nitro and Rebel Valley Sim Club. Oh, it's now 1 to go green now, so it looks like they decided to make a change, and we're going to go green here with 4 to go.
Interesting choice by the admins to go 1 to green with this close to the start-finish line. Looks like everybody's going to be able to figure out where they're supposed to be on track, though.
But most of the field is 2x2 here for this restart, and I don't know about you, Luke, but I don't expect this to go over real well. Wouldn't surprise me if we got another big one here at the end.
Me neither. And it looks like we're going before the start-finish line. A very, very dirty restart by everybody. Gonna have to take a look at that. For the meantime, Gubic has the lead. Cold Breath wants it. And McGillen, first time I've said his name tonight, he has won several times on Super Nitros, leading the outside line.
But he's got a huge shove as well. We just talked about Justin McCall was involved in one of the wrecks, and here he is pushing the 77 here to the lead.
They're making a move. Shamela's in the middle of 3 wide, eventually gets that figured out, and McGillen to the point. McCall doesn't look like he's willing to stay behind him. Eventually has to, but I feel like that 8 truck is going to make the move as soon as he gets an opportunity.
And you know, one guy definitely going to make his move. That 01 of Chase Ingram, he's not afraid to stick his nose out, and here he is on the outside line. He's going to try to get that 3rd line to work in the 01.
Doesn't have any help. I don't think he's going to be able to make it work, and they are sideways behind him, able to keep it under control, and we only have 3 laps to go from Talladega.
3 laps to the turn here at Talladega. Boy, look at this move here from the number 18, as that's Wyatt Youngblood is going to get sideways in the 77. It's going to be side by side for the lead as the 77 is going to get left out to dry. Move Joshua Fireball Colbert to the lead, and now Derek Slidell going through the middle.
Skladell trying to get the lead, but Colbreth has a prime spot being on the bottom. Doesn't have the help when he needs it, and it's Derek Skladel to the top of the board. And Marty Shamela behind him. Both drivers going to get clear, and Shamela is pushing that 51 as hard as he can through the tri-oval.
Want to be careful with these pushes. We saw it once before with the 01. Ended up blowing an engine there right before that last caution. We'll see what happens here with 2 to go.
It's mostly single file for the first 3 trucks. The calmest the field has looked in a moment, but you know these runs are going to get formed very quickly with this few laps left. 2 to go down the back straightaway. About 5 trucks single file, and Shamela makes a move. Ingram going to go with him, and they're going to have the 8 of McCall as well. And 2x2 at the front once again.
Yeah, Marty Shamela normally has a bunch of MC Motorsports teammates in the field. Right now, he is the lone MC Motorsports entry, but he's got some help from the 01 of Chase Ingram, and nothing the 51 can do because here comes the 8, and the 51 blocks the bottom and tries to keep the advance, but Marty Shamela to the point here, coming to the white flag.
White flag, this time by 1 lap to go. Side by side for the lead. Shamela leading the outside. Skladel leading the inside. Parton leading the 3rd lane. Will they have enough momentum to get there? 2x2 for the first 2 rows, and it's a hornet's nest behind them. 4 wide in the middle of the pack.
With the 57.
Ingram and Shamela going to get clear. Will they have enough to clear the bottom? Looks like they will. But there's going to be a big run forming throughout the rest of the field.
I'm going to keep my eye on this 51 of Derek Slidell. Is he going to get enough help from Joshua Fireball Colbert? But right now, I think it might be a 2 or 3 truck race here at the line between the 8, the 01, and the 51.
Ingram all over the tail end of that 8 machine. He's looking to make a move. They're wrecking behind. We got 2 trucks flipping. Ingram and Shamela door slam. They're going to be side by side at the line. And Chase Ingram's going to get it done here at Talladega. What a finish. They were wrecking hard in the back end. We were door slamming and side by side for the win.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't our 2 picks Chase Ingram and Marty Shamela, and they just finished 1-2?
I believe those were our picks. I would like it to be known that my pick won the race.
Hey, it doesn't matter. Hey. I'm cool with that, man. It's crazy that those two ended up being 1-2, but yeah, Chase Ingram, very good restrictor plate racer, and got it done. Timed that move perfectly on the outside of Marty Shmela.
We're going to have to take a look at that finish. Very close. Believe 300ths of a second looking at my timing and scoring. Also appeared we had two separate flips in the tri-oval. So really going to have to take a look at that. As Chase Ingram doing his celebratory burnout down the French straightaway, his first Super Nitro win. We're going to have to get him in here. I know he's going to be pumped to finally be able to beat Marty Shmela at a super speedway on here. Which I'll work. Let's work on getting him in here. But in the meantime, we're gonna take a look at the replay of that accident because that was a huge crash into the tri-oval for the final time by. Not even sure where it started. It was in the middle of the pack. Youngblood was
I just
right in
caught it
the
on the
middle of it.
replay. The 8 of Justin McCall just had a violent, and I mean violent flip, and then you also had the 51 of Joshua Halford. Wow, if you go back and watch the number 8 of Justin McCall, that was a scary flip on the final lap in the tri-oval.
We're looking at it now on the broadcast. That thing dug into the grass and barrel rolled through the tri-oval. Very crazy stuff. Trying to get the camera on him. Where is that 8 truck?
Gotta love iRacing physics, that's for sure. Didn't expect two trucks to blow over like that, but if I remember correctly, the trucks don't even have roof flaps either.
I cannot believe how that 8 truck flipped. That has got to be one of the most violent barrel rolls I've ever seen on the sim. And now we got Ingram up in the booth. Ingram, it's LDogg and Ryan in the booth. You got us?
Yep.
Well, what'd you think of that one? Finally managed to beat Marty Shmela at a super speedway.
I honestly don't know how I did it. Honestly, when I got caught up in that last caution, I thought it was over, but because of the weird start, I managed to get up to the front, and then I got out of line, and they didn't go with me, so I fell to the back, got back in line, got back to the front, and then pushed Marty out way out to the lead, and then I saw they were coming, so I knew Skidell was gonna try to go to the outside, so um so I just I timed it to where I knew when he was going to make the move, so I moved at the same time to try and get his push unintentionally, and it ended up working.
Very impressive move. You guys were door slamming each other exiting the tri-oval. Very
Yep.
fun finish. You looking at the official timing and scoring, you beat him by 300ths of a second. Anything you'd like to say to the viewers on the broadcast?
Um, there's angry birds in this car.
Well, there you have it, folks. Ingram once again going on about Mike's insanity. Well, now we're going to be moving on to the next race, so I'm going to have to kick you out of here. Well, after an exciting start to the night, we're going to be heading to South Boston with the trucks. It's going to be the first short track we've done. Kind of expected to be a demo derby, so we're only going to throw a caution on the halfway point of the race. It's going to be really interesting to see how that one plays out. Do you have any expectations going into that one, Ryan?
Well, I want to say tires are going to be a thing, but South Boston, with it being only a 0.4 of a mile racetrack, expect a lot of tempers to flare, especially for only a 40-lap race and a halfway caution at lap 20. That's my only comments I've got on South Boston. It's going to be a chaos, to say the least.
We're trying a format I haven't seen done in most other series where we're only going to throw one caution. Which hopefully the admins understand that and don't start throwing cautions every 3 laps so we can get this done in a reasonable amount of time. I will be severely disappointed going out of this one if we don't have a track blocker on the front straightaway at some point.
I definitely expect the track to be blocked, but that's for sure. That's a good point.
And gonna take me a little bit longer than normal to put the session up due to me messing up the settings. So we're gonna we're gonna cut the broadcast for a moment just so I can get everything figured out. Well, welcome back to the booth. We have got we're working on getting everything set up for race 2 at South Boston, and gonna have one caution at the halfway point for this race. Expected to be kind of a chaotic event, but it's gonna be really fun to watch, and everyone's gonna be angry at everybody during it, so it's definitely gonna be pretty entertaining for the viewers. Crazy finish in Talladega with 2 trucks flipping in the tri-oval, one of which barrel rolled several times through the infield grass in a pretty big accident for the sim.
Yeah, I see it. It's just buffering right now.
I think we got it back. Might want to double check me there. Not exactly sure why that decided to happen. Did it go back up?
Let's see. Looks like it is up now. What I can see.
Hope that doesn't mess up the recording of race 1. It's kind of strange. Didn't expect it to cut out like that. I didn't really do anything any different than I usually do. Already have about 15 drivers registered for the session, so pretty decent attendance as we flip over. And just noticed I forgot to unmute the stream again. I am doing very well tonight with running the broadcast. Well, we still got a minute left in practice. Oh, we got a big wreck on the track. That's the part everybody's concerned about going into this. Well, didn't mean to kind of ruin the interview with having the stream view.
Nah.
It's been a long day. I'm pretty tired. I keep messing up everything. Well, unless you want me to ask you the same questions again, I guess we'll let you go.
Go
Or
ahead.
do you want to
if
keep
you
going?
want.
Well, we were
Yeah, I'm
asking
good.
you how you expected to run this thing and where you wanted to be in the field.
Just being out front, out of trouble. Keeping the car underneath you, not sending in too late on brakes. So if you do, it gets a little loose. It's gonna be hard to control. What I'm noticing is you gain up a lot of time on your exits, not so much your entry. So I almost wrecked that guy. But if it does kick out, it's gonna be difficult to save, as I can't get in the groove here. But restart's gonna be important. Keeping the car, keeping the rear tires from spinning. Keeping the heat evenly. Right front's gonna get destroyed here. Driving in too deep.
Do you think lap cars are going to play a factor in this?
I do think lap cars, yeah. If someone spins out early and then we meet them 5 laps later and they're just, I don't know. Everyone's gonna be in the same groove, so finding a way through should be fun.
Well, we're going to let you go and get ready for the race. Thanks for
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah.
putting up with the nonsense of me trying to run a stream.
Yep.
So
Gonna
we'll
have some
get
fun.
back to everybody else now. Well, Ryan, definitely liked what you were saying. That was kind of what I was going for when you said this reminded you of an old school truck series race, because that was really the goal for tonight, was try to mix it up a little bit. Feels like something out of the mid-90s with the series.
Yeah, if you go back in the old Craftsman Truck Series race, they even had the halfway break right at the halfway point, just like what ARCA does now with in present day with the ARCA Menard Series. So I think this will be a good race tonight. I know South Boston is a track that's a very single groove racetrack. Everyone's going to be fighting for the bottom. And Austin Hobart made some really good points about trying to keep that truck underneath you. Right front tire likely going to get destroyed, but I also could see these guys, if you push that limit a little bit too much, those rear tires going to kick right underneath you, and you're just going to spin right around. So that's some old school short track racing here for race number 2, and I'm looking forward to it.
I actually wasn't aware of the halfway break thing. That makes me look a little bit smarter than I actually am. It does feel like an old school truck race, though. It's really, we want to do things like this with Super Nitro. I feel like we see the same car track combos in most of these streams. Haven't really ever seen on a stream trucks at South Boston. Just not one people ask for.
South
Definitely good to
Boston used
mix
to be
it up.
run back in the 90s, and I think it was the late 80s, early 90s with the O'Reilly Auto Parts series. They actually ran here in real life. I don't think the trucks have ever run here in real life at all. But I honestly think South Boston would be a good location for a truck series race.
It's definitely fun to drive on the sim, and a couple times I've done it. But it's one of those tracks where it's real easy to get caught up in an accident. And we have a couple new names in this one. We got Facundo Ledesma.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he's running
pronounced
Rebel
that
Valley
right.
before Facundo Ledesma.
Oh, Facundo. I feel like I always get people in here whose names are really hard for me to pronounce. Guess that just comes with more commentating. Joshua Fracker. Don't recognize him. Got Watlington again. We got Jesse Adair from Machina Corsa, who makes some really interesting edits on Instagram and other social medias. So it's always nice to see him running some races with us. Made a really cool edit of the insane Atlanta race from Sunday night. So helping to promote the series a little bit, which I'm very appreciative of. Well, qualifying
That's a
coming
nice-
to an end. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. I was just gonna compliment the paint scheme on that 26, but you can go ahead.
Well, I was saying, practice coming to an end. We're about to begin qualifying, so gonna have to flip through the field here to see who knows what they're doing. I think I'm gonna start with Elliot Condra. I know he's pretty good at various types of tracks. Expect him to be running at the front here on this combo. So we're switching over the session. Do you have any picks for this race?
Looking through the order right here, we've got 18 drivers in the session. I think the one guy to keep my eye on is Wyatt Youngblood at number 77. This is a guy that I believe he runs late models. I think he does some late model racing over in his hometown. I know he owned a series here on iRacing, had a league for super late models. So this is a guy that's no stranger to running on these type of racetracks. So if there's one guy I'm going to keep my eye on, it's the 77 Wyatt Youngblood. I think he's going to go to victory lane here tonight in Super Nitro for race 2.
Seems like a safe pick. I kind of want to go with Marty Shimela, just because he runs short tracks in real life as well with the MCM team. And just, I feel like no matter what track we do on Super Nitro, he's always a factor. Which right now during qualifying, McGillen on the pole, he has been having an incredible run in the series. I don't know if he's ever run Rebel Valley, but he's been winning everything in sight lately for us.
Yeah, Color's a guy that has not appeared in Rebel Valley yet. I've not seen that name appear in Rebel Valley. But yeah, great lap, 15.352. Ran very close to his time in practice at a 15.354.
Every time we go to a track that's not a super speedway, he's right in the mix. And actually, he won the first race of the series at Daytona, so I guess he can win on super speedways too. Got the 15 of Watlington finishing his lap, going to be in the 7th position.
We saw him run race number 1 in the number 27, same paint scheme, but just at a different number. Just AP7.
So, 18 drivers in the field for the moment. Looking at Aaron May complete his lap. Now driving a number 10 Logitech Ford F-150. Decided to completely change manufacturers in between races.
Yeah, he's got all 3 truck models on iRacing, the league that I run in. He and I are together in our league, and he runs Toyota, so he runs all 3 manufacturers.
Try something. Doesn't look like I have a camera pack. I'm curious if I had a camera that wasn't the default cameras for this track, but I guess because it's one of the free tracks, no one ever really made one for it. Well, finishing up qualifying, a couple cars on the track. A nice Sprite truck for the 67 of Justin Smith. Bradley Shimela completing some laps. Don't really see him be a factor at tracks that aren't super speedways, but still has a shot with how intense I expect this to be at the front. Definitely going to be some carnage.
That's the second MC Motorsports entry as well. He's a guy that runs periodically as well in Rebel Valley Sim Club. That's actually the father of Marty Shmela, so cool to see a father and son combo here on sim racing.
Always nice to see those two racing together, and they work real good together too, especially at the super speedways. Which I don't think everyone else in the field appreciates, but it's fun to see happen.
Yeah, FCM had a rebrand. Marty used to run the 88 and switched over to 8 for single digits, and Bradley Shmela used to run 83, and he's now over at number 4.
Familiar sight to see the 8 at the front now. Almost forgot that Marty used to run the 88. Which, qualifying coming to an end, we're getting things racked up for race 2.
Right now, we've got one truck sitting on pit road, and it's the 84 of Facundo Ledesma, who's still on pit road right now. Looks like he's just going to wait this out until the time expires. But it's a cool paint scheme on that number 84. That's a throwback to Kenny Irwin Jr.'s 1997 paint scheme that he ran back in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So always cool to see a throwback scheme in action and at a throwback type racetrack like South Boston.
Definitely matches the theme we're going for tonight. Actually, a throwback night sounds like a pretty good idea for us to do one time during the summer.
Yeah, I consider doing a throwback race one time in Rebel Valley as like a main feature race at Darlington, but I have a feeling that would just be a mess because Darlington's a very tough racetrack to drive.
Well, not to mention actually getting everyone to follow the idea of running throwback paint schemes.
Oh yeah.
It's hard enough to get these guys to join the session on time anyways. So, 18 drivers on the grid, which, very good attendance for this being such a short track race. Usually when it's not a super speedway, at least for the first couple streams we've done, it hasn't been great attendance on tracks that aren't Talladega or Daytona.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a race over in Rebel Valley. We had road course night on Monday, and there's only 2 drivers that showed up for the final race.
I would have raced, but I never buy road courses typically, so I didn't even have the track. It was a good race, despite the fact there was only 2 cars, with Wyatt Blair edging out edging out Aaron May for the victory.
Yeah, all 3 races were pretty decent for the most part over there. From Monday night, Marty Schmela got taken out by a lap car in race 1. That kind of hampered that finish. And race 2, we had a great battle between Daniel Mosteller and Gavin Austin. And race 3, which you just mentioned, with those 2 cars. But be sure to stay in tune for Monday for another announcement here for Royal Valley Sim Club, because that'll be back in action on Monday night.
Always happy to see. Always fun to race in. As much fun as I have broadcasting, it is always fun to jump in on a stream and go racing. I know you're
Speaking
the
of
same
racing,
way.
we got some trucks rolling off pit road now, and we're going to get some 2 pace laps in and let this baby roll.
McGillen starting on the pole with that beautiful Harbor Freight machine. Got Ingram to his outside. Condra behind McGillen in 3rd. Claytor in 4th. Marty Shimela in 5th. And Derek Shaver in 6th.
And you got Aaron May running in 7th. You've got Michael Good there running the South Point Casino Chevrolet. It's a Brendan Gaughan paint scheme who's making his return this weekend, tomorrow or on Friday night at San Diego. So he's right there in P9. And you got Kyle Watlington round out our top 10. And then it's Facundo Ledesma, Austin Hobart, and Bradley Schmela that are the 13 trucks. And you've also got Ledesma and the 067 Justin Smith. And that'll be our field here for race number 2.
Looks like we lost a few drivers from qualifying, including Youngblood, who was your pick for this race.
We're under green, and looks like we already had a crash there with the 15 of Kyle Watlington, but keep this green until the halfway point.
Well, trouble early doesn't necessarily mean the end of the race if you can stay within a couple laps down. Side by side for the lead coming out of turn 2. Ingram going to get into the wall. And the 18 sideways behind.
I'm surprised this 01 of Chase Ingram is holding on this outside line. We thought the bottom line would be the predominant groove here, and still holding on to that 2nd spot. He's under attack now from the 09 of Elliott Condra.
Trying to make it work. Not a lot of room. Him and Condra going to make contact coming out of turn 4, and the Ingram washes way up the track. You can see a ton of wheel into that thing.
You saw
actually
that
able
little
to make it
bobble there out of
work.
that 01 machine. He might lose that second spot here to Condra, but they're still side by side going into one.
Condra able to complete the pass. Now the 01 under attack from the 8 of Marty Shimela. Shimela looked like he thought about giving the bumper to the 01. Got to be really aggressive with these passes while people are falling back through the field.
A crash in turn 1 with the 84 of Facundo Ledesma. He is turned backwards there in turn number 1. Again, halfway caution at lap number 20.
Gonna
He's
pull
be out
off the track
here.
while the leaders go by. A good move. A little scary for a moment there.
And Ingram in the 01 is around, and he saves it.
Good save by Ingram. A lot happening all over this short half-mile racetrack. McGillen has a comfortable lead. Well, not a comfortable lead, but he still has the lead as Condra getting all over his bumper on the exit of the corner. I feel like Condra is going to have to put a lot of work in to get around McGillen with how good the 77 truck is at running these short track races. And Ledesma has spun again right in front of the leaders this time.
Yeah, he's just straight up not having a good time, that number 84. But I'm watching this 09 of Elliott Condra. Just a tad slower that last time by compared to the number 77 of Kohler McGillen. And right now, those two trucks are starting to distance themselves out by 0.5 of a second over the third place truck of Marty Shimela.
The two leaders nose to tail. The best battle in the field at the moment, or at least the one that's shaping up to be a good battle. The 09 is there. I just don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough to move the 77 up the track.
Yeah, those two last time by ran virtually equal lap times, and those are the two fastest trucks currently on the racetrack. Everyone else running is we got a truck that stopped there in turn 3. That's Justin Smith in the 067.
Able to get that Chevrolet rolling again. Really not a lot of big wrecks, a lot of single car spins. Everybody doing a good job of holding their brakes and staying out of the leader's way.
They passed the 84 again.
Ledesma not having a good time here in South Boston. The two leaders coming up on lap traffic with the lapped car of Watlington. Going to be interesting to see if he gets out of the way.
And yeah, not only with the 77 here, you have to fight this traffic from the 09 of Elliott Condra. And you see he might be a pick here with these two lap trucks side by side. That's going to open the door possibly for the 09 to get to his inside.
Always interesting to see when the two lappers get side by side in front of the leaders like that. That really tightened up this battle for the lead. Does Condra have enough to make the move? He's going to make some contact with the 77, trying to move him up the track. Not able to do anything yet, and they are still trying to get around this lap traffic.
About to look at timing and scoring the last time by, but you see the 77 ran a 15.597 that last time. Elliott Condra at a 16.011 as they're trying to work their way around this number 4 of Bradley Shimela, but we're only 2 laps away until this halfway break as you see the 067's around again.
Very rough night for a couple of these guys. Still have 10 trucks on the lead lap, and McGillen finally able to get through some of the lap traffic. Still has more in front, but has definitely got a way bigger buffer than he did before they got into these lappers. Stretch it out to about a half-second lead, and we have now hit the halfway caution. Surprisingly good racing, considering I figured this would be a demo derby when we picked this one for tonight.
Yeah, a good halfway break for these drivers to re-rack and reset. I'll be interested to see if we've got any drivers in the back to come down pit road for some fresh tires. I mean, it is unlimited tire sets for these guys. It's a little bit different compared to Rebel Valley when there's only 1 tire set and 0 fast repairs. But if I'm somebody running mid-pack or toward the back of the field, I'd probably come in for tires, but see what happens.
And Condra stays out. Also has Hobart stay out with him. The unlimited tire sets is actually a mistake on my part when setting up the session, but it is interesting to give these guys a bunch of options. So definitely some split strategies here. 20 laps isn't a long time on tires, but it is enough for there to be a decent amount of wear, especially on a rough racetrack like this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at time and score, and we got 6 trucks that stayed out on the racetrack. Looks like we got 2 more that just came in, with the 15 and the 4 just came down pit road a lap later than everybody else. But the first truck off of pit road is the number 18 of Keyshawn Clater. He took 2 tires on that last stop at a 9.53 second pit stop. And you've got Kohler McGillen, Marty Schmela, Pace Ingram, Aaron May, Derek Slidell on back. Drivers are still on track. They took 4 tires this last time by.
It's always interesting when you get the leaders on old tires. Gotta make sure you don't spin them and stack up everybody behind. So going to be 16 laps to go when we get back running again. Once again, we remind the viewers, no cautions. So this is gonna be green to the finish.
We'll see if those old tires survive here for 16 laps. It's going to be Condra, Hobart, and Shaver on no tires, but we're back underway.
A good jump on the restart by Condra, able to get clear of the nearest contenders. Side by side for second, a little bit of contact with the wall for Hobart, able to make it work, and they are blocking up the track for the 18 on fresh tires. And he's going to send the 74 in there. He's
and
going to
the
get
18
into him
and
again.
74 get together.
Smith also going to get involved. Everybody able to get going
trucks
again.
Involved right there.
Definitely the largest crash we've had the whole race. And Derek Shaver got moved out of the way by these guys on fresh tires. And now McGillen is up to second, but he is fighting hard with Marty Schmela.
And the caution flag is out. I thought we were only going to have a halfway caution, but looks like the Evans have thrown a caution.
Gonna have to take a look at why that happened. Oh, and we've got beef. The 18 has taken out the 74. The 18 removed from the session. Gotta wonder if that has anything to do with the caution, if those two were going at it.
Yeah, we saw it a lap or two prior before the caution came out. The 18 and the 74 got together when they were fighting for the 3rd position. And I don't think the 18 was just happy at all with the 74 holding him up and retaliated.
Yeah, so looking at the replay, the 18 just dumps the 74 the first time to cause the big wreck, which nothing happened that really looked caution worthy, which we were going to try to not throw the caution. The 74 goes back around the track a couple times. Oh, and the 18 was waiting at the entrance to pit road to get back at the 74.
Yeah, there's a difference between a bump and run and a bump and dump, and that was a bump and dump.
Gotta wonder if the caution was to try to get the 18 car off the track to not have him headhunting and getting in the leader's way. Meanwhile, we're back under green. Condra gonna have to put up a big fight on those fresh tires, against the fresh tires of the 77, because he has McGillen all the way to his outside.
Yeah, Elliott Condra not in a good spot right now. He's going to have to play the best defense he can to hold off those fresh tires off the 77. But yeah, you could just see the grip on the 77 truck as he tries to work his way to the outside to retake the race lead.
Not able to get there, has Marty Schmela all over his tail too. A 3-truck battle for first. Finally able to get clear for the 77. Now Schmela working on Condra. Schmela able to get clear as well. Those fresh tires definitely with a huge advantage compared to Condra, who stayed out. Although Condra dives into the inside. Side by side for second. Not able to make anything of it, and Schmela is clear.
While Chase Ingram on the outside in that 0-1, he's going to get clear of Elliott Condra to work his way up in the last spot in the podium.
Now we're going to have to see, does Shamela have enough time to get back to McGillen? Not sure if he's going to be able to get there. McGillen's been the fastest truck all night. About 7/10 of a second lead and growing.
Yeah, he was the
Shamela
fastest
just
truck
not
on the
able to get
racetrack
there.
that last time by. Here's we have 3 laps to go. I think this is McGillen's race to lose unless we have something crazy that happens at the end.
McGillen is really uncontested. As soon as he came down and Condra stayed out, he was at a huge advantage compared to everybody else. Going to take the white flag. It's all Cooper McGillen. Trying to make it around one more time. Rounding turns 3 and 4. And Kohler McGillen gonna get a win yet again on Super Nitro. Very impressive run out of him.
Yeah, dominating performance by Kohler McGillen. Led the majority of this race. Came down, used those fresh tires at his advantage, and was able to hold off Marty Shamela by over 1 second. Another win here in Super Nitro.
Well, watching him head around the track to do his victory burnout. Always seems to show up on some of these shorter tracks. Very talented behind the wheel of these stock cars around there. And looks like we have Elliott Condra up in the booth.
Wow.
What
So-
happened there with the second caution?
That was me trying to clear black flags and accidentally hitting the button. I did not mean to do that. The buttons are like right above each other. So I tried to clear black flags because somebody DM'd me to clear them. And then, yeah, I hit both buttons at the same time.
Well, we were trying to figure out what happened because the 18 car was also making some contact with everybody. Weren't sure if that was what prompted it or not.
No, that was just me forgetting, like, I don't know. I just misclicked.
Looking
That was
at
a fun race, though.
it definitely went a lot cleaner than I expected it to. That was very fun to watch. And
feel like-
Kohler McGillen burning it down still. He's going to blow the motor on that thing. And he does blow
There
the
it goes.
motor. Well, what were you saying about the race? Got a little distracted there.
It was really fun. There was actually some good two-wide racing, and I mean the car didn't feel the best, but that's gonna happen when the setup's not meant for the track. It was still fun.
Honestly, when I'm not racing, I want you guys to be on the worst setups possible because it seems to create better racing when you're fighting the cars a lot.
Yeah, that race was really fun.
The only thing I'd like to change is I forgot to make it to where caution laps don't count for the halfway break.
I'm not positive that you can do caution laps don't count and admin caution together.
Well, I'm still figuring out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And Ingram wants to do South Boston with the next gens.
The only issue with that is the next gen car always just locks the left front up, so all we'll be doing is locking the tires up the entire time.
Yeah, I definitely think that the truck works better as a short track vehicle for things like that.
Yeah.
Because it was very interesting. It was very interesting to watch. It felt like we were talking about in the booth how much it felt like a throwback race. Which working up right now, working on putting the final race of the night up, which is going to be Trucks at Michigan, which basically another super speedway race. Which are you still planning to test the black flags at that race? And he left the booth. Just gotta double check I make all the laps right. So a 35 lapper to finish off the night. Is there a difference between Michigan 2018 and Michigan setup?
Not from what I have seen. I probably would just go with Michigan 2018. I think Michigan, is. I remember there used to be a Legacy Michigan.
That's what I was planning to do. It's not. I didn't realize that there was more than one option for it.
Take a look.
Actually, gonna have a 3-tire set limit this race instead of unlimited tires.
It's Michigan 2018 is the setup.
Okay. Been a fun night of racing so far. Definitely exciting when you can go from a super speedway to a short track and still have some good battles.
Yeah, I was impressed with South Boston. It definitely felt like an old school short track race, kind of what you were intended to do, and saw tires prevail right at the end. And 77 of Kohler McGillen get another win here in Super Nitro. Here to see what will happen here with race number 3. We're going back to super speedway style racing with Michigan.
Always fun to see racing like that. You know, just I want to. You always want to pick super speedways, especially when you're thinking about entertainment for the fans. But this really was a solid race. I couldn't have asked anything more out of it.
I'm kind of curious to see how many, if we had more laps in the race, let's say if it's like a 100-lap race, I'd be kind of curious to see which guys could save their tires the best and see the comers and goers in the race. Thought that would have been really intriguing to see if we had a longer distance.
Definitely could be an interesting idea. Do want to look into maybe not necessarily an e-ticket, but we could have a night where instead of 3 or 4 races, we do 1 or 2 long races on a short track or something. Like special purse night. Like you get like put a purse up or something. Have a lot of ideas for this. I like the way that you run Rebel Valley most of the time, but there are just some interesting ideas I've had that I haven't really seen anyone try with some of these other series. Because we've been talking about having a night of destruction where we only run figure eights and quarter miles. Also been talking about doing a bounty night against MCF Motorsports with the way that they've been winning. We've also had discussion about a guaranteed fight night where we only run quarter miles and basically throw the rulebook out the window for an evening. Which that one I definitely think would be fun to watch for the fans.
Way to get your anger out too from the day.
I mean, some nights you just need to not have a rule book. You know, just let them have at it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that's beautiful about iRacing is that you can do things like that. You can take NASCARs and run them on a figure eight if you want to. I definitely know it from watching some of Carson Hocefar's streams where they take those off-road trucks to every track imaginable.
Oh yeah, Carson Hostvar, and you also got other real life drivers that come on here and just join these random hosted races just to get some time off from their real life job. That's also awesome to see too.
I know I've seen a couple ARCA drivers run Rebel Valley before.
Yeah,
I'm
back
sure.
in Rebel Valley, we had Thomas Annunziata, Jake Bowman ran a couple races.
Hopefully we can get Super Nitro to that level, but I can't complain with the way things are going. We have grown it really fast. I already have over 50 members in the Discord. Had a full field, or at least very close to a full field in 2 races on Sunday night. Just everything going really well for it being only our 4th ever stream for the series. Definitely a little rough around the edges with the broadcasting, as I'm still getting kind of used to that stuff.
Yeah, that broadcasting stuff takes time. I can tell you from experience too. I remember the very first stream I did on the channel, my ticker didn't even work, so I spent the whole race without a ticker.
My ticker kind of has a mind of its own and likes to put the positions in a random order sometimes.
Okay, looks like session is up.
You have admin in the server, right?
I think so. I'll have to check.
Well, I forgot when I reset all my settings, I forgot to make Marty an admin again.
Yeah, I'm an admin.
Okay, well, can you make Marty an admin if you're an admin?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. There's still the admins and stuff. That keeps throwing me off too with some of this on the sim side. Not usually something I deal with. I'm just usually the guy that shows up and crashes everybody and leaves the race. Actually, I'm not that bad of a driver. Well, as we're loading into the session, already looks like we have 10 or 12 trucks registered. Probably going to be more because Michigan's a pretty fun combo, and I know it's popular with a lot of drivers.
Yeah, we were talking last night before the start of the broadcast. Well, actually, last night, just kind of doing a broadcast prep, and Michigan honestly kind of races like a mini super speedway with these Craftsman Truck Series vehicles.
It does, but it's also really fun once the tires wear because it kind of turns into a really fast intermediate when you get spread out more. Not sure if we'll get to that point in this race with there being probably going to be a couple crashes because we're back to just normal rules with no halfway break now. Really going to be interesting to see how the points shake out after this because we have been doing a summer point standings for a prize later in the year towards the end of August, which the way we've made the points format, you really just want to win as many races as possible. And a lot of these guys have been coming out and doing just that, which is exactly what I wanted. McGillen win multiple times. We've had Shamela win multiple times. We had Cameron Face come in and win back-to-back races in his debut. So he was really putting on a show. Heading back into the sim side. of the broadcast. Practice underway here at the Michigan International Speedway. Anybody you've got your eye on heading into this thing, Ryan?
I'm trying to look around right now to see. We got a pretty decent field here for race number 3, our final race tonight. Looks like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. About 17 trucks in this field here for race number 3. There are some good names here I could see play a factor here tonight. Marty Shmela has run well here, and MC Motorsports in general. I'm looking at Derek Slidell's potential, but I'm trying to go down the list. I honestly don't even know, to be quite honest with you. I'll need to look at qualifying before I make my prediction here, because it's kind of early to say right now with this practice session. So I think I'm going to hold my pick until we finish with qualifying.
Well, I think one of my picks has definitely got to be Michael Good. He is surprisingly good at this track for whatever reason. Every time I see him running it, he is up at the front. And he's at the top of the board in the practice session already.
Right now, the only driver to run inside the 40s, well, in the 39.7 range. Everyone else in the 40s right now, with Doug Lemons right now in P2, a newcomer here to the series.
Got a lot of drivers returning from the previous races. A couple I haven't seen before. Got Facundo Ledesma doing it again. Hopefully gonna have a smoother race than South Boston. Definitely was a little out of control through that one.
Yeah, if I was Facundo after South Boston, I'd want to put that race in the trash can and start over fresh, because that was a nightmare of a race for that number 84 machine.
We got Bradley Shmela again getting turned by Michael Good. Mike driving a car that was designed by me. Not wanting to shout myself out on my own broadcast, but thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, see that LDogg Designs scheme right there on the left, on the driver and passenger side of that number 12 truck.
And Chase Ingram stuck in a spot that I didn't even know was possible to get to. We're going to have to look at how he ended up in that position. Somehow ended
Look,
up...
every time I have a camera on Chase Ingram, he's always in a precarious spot, and I still can never figure out how he does it.
Well, I'm looking at the replay now because just how on earth did he manage to get inside of the track and the catch fence? Oh, he glitched through a wall and then got stuck to the catch fence. There are definitely some really funny walls you can hit at this track that'll just launch you in the air, but that is ridiculous. He's still stuck. Looks like a fly in a glue trap right now. Michael Good's still at the top
I've got
of the
no
board.
words. I have no words.
Got Jesse Adair racing once again. Hopefully he can have a little bit better of a race. I think there was an altercation between him and Michael Good towards the end of South Boston. Wasn't able to catch it on the cameras. Might have to look at that later when I'm on the replay after the broadcast is over. Always a lot going on in a short track race. Definitely very intimidating when you're getting used to broadcasting.
Yeah, going back to my days starting out too in Rebel Valley Sim Club, I felt like short tracks was always the hardest to keep track of on broadcasting. I don't know why.
The two things that I found are my arch nemesis and when I'm broadcasting, commentating, and controlling the cameras is really early race crashes when everything's still getting worked out, and definitely short tracks. Part of why we haven't gotten to Bristol yet is just because I'm kind of scared that I'll mess up the broadcast pretty bad.
Well, if there's one thing, at least we won't be like Fox and miss a flip on a short track.
Well, I have missed flips before on here. Though at least we talk about the action and not about what condiments we like on our hot dogs.
That
And
too, or
Derek
completely
Shaver to the
ignore
top of the board.
what's going on.
A pretty full field. I think we're up to about 20 drivers registered with 3 minutes left before we switch over to qualifying. Probably going to be another fun race. Oh, and Shaver's going to wreck the 74 truck. And that's Hobart. He's driving a blank Ford for this race for whatever reason. And Michael Good with a big collision. Wouldn't be shocked if we don't turn one over. Or wouldn't be shocked if we do turn one over before this thing is over. Going very fast here at Michigan. Seeing drivers top out at mid 180s to low 190s in the draft going into turns 1 and 2. Definitely within range to turn one over if you do get crashed sideways. Looking at the practice, we got 2 MCM drivers side by side with both of the Shimelas battling each other.
Right now, Marty and Bradley Shmela, right now the two slowest on the track at 15th and 16th respectively, but I'm sure that'll change as we close in on this practice session as we're just a shade over 2 minutes remaining here in practice.
You gotta wonder if they're focusing less on lap time and more about handling their trucks. Because that handling is going to play a factor when you're in the pack with guys taking the air off you and you being in dirty air. Really drives a lot different than when you're by yourself.
And especially, too, when you get a late race caution and have some strategy. I know I talked to Marty Shmela after one of his wins at Michigan with the next-gen cars. He pulled a last lap pass on Chase Ingram to get the win. And when I talked to him in the broadcast, he ran at the back the whole race until that late race caution came out and mentioned that he only took 2 tires and was able to surge his way up toward the front and get around the 0-1 of Chase Ingram. So I think a lot of that might also come to do with, and you can preserve your tires enough so that way you can have a good strategy call at the end and put yourself in position to win.
Marty definitely is a master of showing up late on late race restarts. We've seen him do it time and time again on all of the series that he runs. Really good at saving the truck, staying out of trouble, and just taking opportunities when he can get them at the end of the race. Really don't talk about him a whole lot at the beginning of these things. Although I had a rough race to start out the night at Talladega where he started on the pole and I don't even know if he led a lap. Seems like he got thrown back into the middle of the pack almost immediately.
Closing on the last 30 seconds here of this practice session, we got Derek Shaver now on top of the charts in that number 30 machine. Always runs that number 30, whether in Rebel Valley or in here in Super Nitro. Always running that number 30 car with different sponsors every single time. But right now he's going to be our current leader here in practice as we have 5 seconds remaining and we'll hop straight into our 5-minute qualifying session.
Qualifying pretty important in a race like this. It does race like a super speedway, but it's hard to get back through the field if you do start in the back. The draft can only do so much for you at a track like this. And looks like we have 27 trucks in the session. So gonna be interesting to see how qualifying goes. A pretty big field for it not being a super speedway race. I wasn't there in the early days of Rebel Valley or R2R, but was the attendance this good this early?
Um, it was a decent crowd. I wouldn't say like 27 trucks early on, 27, 28 trucks. I'd say like roughly 20 to 25 for the most part on a regular basis.
I mean, we don't always get great attendance, especially when we do combos that aren't super popular, like Gen 4 cars, or if we were to do Indy cars or something like that. But when you get down to bread and butter NASCAR tracks, you're definitely gonna get a decent field for us, at least. Watching Chase Ingram start his qualifying lap, cutting all the way down to the apron down the front straightaway.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of drivers in the race try to cut that apron in the race, try to keep that track position because, like you mentioned, I feel like track position is going to be very important here, especially with the dirty air that's distributed around with all of these trucks. You want to put yourself in the best spot here and qualify at least in the front 3 or 4 rows if you want to have a chance to win.
Now, it's not impossible to win from the back because the way this track races, you're going to have a little bit of chaos. When they fan out 4 and 5 wide on the restarts, if somebody's not paying attention, there can be a big wreck really quickly. And looks like Ethan Orzo to the top of the board for the moment. Ingram down to 4th.
Ethan Orza running that number 45 Nice scheme. I think, if correct, I believe the graphic designer for Nice Motorsports actually posted that scheme on iRacing. So that's a real life scheme designed by the graphic designer for Nice Motorsports, just with the iRacing font. But qualifying effort for Orzo is he's going to drop down to 3rd place now with Derek Shaver going to the top of the charts.
Yeah, Neff up to... Oh, everything's switching. Wildington to the top of the board. He's definitely been having an up and down night. With a pretty good run going in Talladega and then kind of an abysmal race at South Boston. Although far
That's
from
3
the only
races,
one.
3 different numbers on that for him. And now Dylan Herverton goes to the top of the charts at a 40.023.
Herverton driving that number 67 King's Hawaiian truck, and Kyle Dean going to take the pole away from him. Driving a really nice Flame number 3 truck. Got Zachary Mays making his lap down the back straightaway in that Interstate Batteries machine. Got Brad Schmela
Zachary
also
Moss
running.
there, the number 64.
Oh, Moss. That's how you say that.
Yeah, Zachary Moss.
And Ingram is stuck in a catch fence again. Every time I go over to him with the cameras, it catches me off guard because he's stuck in a random place.
Trust me, happens the same thing in Rebel Valley, too.
Well, him and I, when we race Rebel Valley, during the practice and qualifying, mostly the practice, we just spend our time trying to flip our cars in the dumbest ways possible. Which Dean gonna maintain the pole. Believe that he's not gonna have any challengers.
Hey, LDogg, can I park here?
I don't think so, buddy. You are the only person who can manage to get over there.
I'm just good like that, I guess.
Your hood appears to be like chomping down on the rest of your track.
My hood on my screen is still.
Not shocked it broke the game. A little bit there.
Anyway,
Ingram's always entertaining to hang out with. Tell you that from experience.
Well, now we've got qualifying complete, and the field starts to grid up here. We got Kyle Dean, who's going to be starting on pole with Dylan Herverton with a 4,672 I rating, who's going to be starting alongside him on the outside of row number 1. And Luke, I did mention it in practice. I wanted to wait until after qualifying before I made my pick to decide the winner. I think I'm going to go with Derek Shaver in the number 30 truck. This is a guy that normally is very good on the short runs. Kind of falls off a little bit on the long green flag run, but this track normally races, I expect a lot of short sprints, and that's something this number 30 is good at. So I'm going to go with Derek Shaver as my pick tonight to win here at Michigan for our final race.
I think for mine, I'm going to go with Aaron May as my pick. Just really expect him to run well. He's been up at the front for most of these races so far. Maybe not having the greatest run at South Boston, but just these intermediate style tracks, he's really good at, especially running ARCA cars. But the ARCA and the trucks run pretty similar at this particular track.
Yeah, Aaron May's not a bad pick either in that number 10 truck. I believe he did get his first career win in Super Nitro on an intermediate track. Had that photo finish with Elliott Condra in the 09. And he is a driver that does run well on the intermediates. I feel like intermediates and super speedways are his specialty, and that's a good pick as well. I could see him running well here and getting a win, his second career win in Super Nitro here at Michigan.
Well, looking at the rest of the field, a lot of good drivers. A couple of guys I don't recognize. Gonna be interesting to see how this plays out.
We talked about how this race was like a super speedway. If you look at the qualifying results, the top 20 all separated by 0.2 of a second. Just full throttle, wide open racing, trying to put yourself in the right spot and see how this all plays out. We got a pretty decent crowd here for our final race too. Looks like we got 24 drivers currently on track.
Also, it looks like we have a decent crowd on the live stream side as well, with 10 viewers still with us. Thank you to everybody who's hanging out with us this evening. Gradually been starting to build up the streams more. I kind of let my YouTube channel die for a while. Haven't really felt like doing any more BeamNG stuff. Wanted to switch it up with something else.
All right, here we go. We got all these trucks lined up. Got these drivers warming up their tires. Do not want to lose it going into turn number 1. But we got Kyle Dean and Dylan Herverton that's going to lead us down to the green flag here for race number 3. As the starter has the green flag in hand, and we are green here at Michigan.
Pretty even start from the first two on the front row. Side by side, the 67 actually able to get ahead for a second. They fan out behind, 3 and 4 wide throughout the back of the field, and contact made of Michael Good with a hard crash of the outside wall.
That's a huge crash as well. That's the 75. I can't tell who that is on stream. The 74 of Austin Hobart. You got Ethan Orzo in the 45. No caution as of yet, and we stay green.
Surprised that wasn't a caution. That was towards the front half of the field. Meanwhile, at the front, Herverton has the advantage. Shaver in a battle behind with Dean. Herverton going to get further ahead as those two fighting for second are going to stall out their momentum. Very important to keep your momentum here. We'll see everybody kind of default to the top lane down the straightaways, just keeping the draft. Now the caution out. Looks like Bradley Shamela destroyed down the front straightaway. Also got the 75 of Justin Neff with damage. We're going to have to take a look at what happened there.
We're going to take a look at the first track because we saw Michael Good
Yeah, taking a look at the replay, it looks like actually have to go back even further. Not exactly sure what happened there. It didn't look like that bad of a start for everybody. Just looks like Michael Good running the bottom lane. Oh, and then he gets turned by the 45, violently hooked into the outside wall. Thought he got airborne, and actually it was the 75 of Neff that got airborne. Ingram also got out of control there, but not really too bad. So a big wreck, a lot of hard hits there. Pretty violent for them only being at speed for about a half a lap.
Yeah, you were not kidding. That's a vicious hit for the number 12. Oh, wow. Did you see the 74 of Hobart just drove right underneath the front bumper of the 75 and of Justin Death and just lifted him up in the air as well? It's a crazy wreck there on the opening lap.
Yeah, very, very violent. Almost reminds me of some of the crashes we have in Michigan in real life lately with guys getting turned into the outside wall. Then, not sure what brought out the caution. I believe the 4 of Shamela is involved. Gonna have to take a look at that as well. That happened later in the lap. But there was another wreck towards the end of the back straightaway involving Ingram and the 28 of... Actually, I'm not sure who's driving. Oh, Dominic Hunter. So that happened. And then there was another wreck. More guys get into it. And a multi-car crash in turn 4 at the end of lap 1.
There's the wreck right there. And if you go a little bit farther up, watch the number 70 truck. That is Doug Lemons. He actually gets loose going into turn 3. 17 of Austin Russell just has nowhere to go. And that's how Bradley Schmela gets collected along with Facundo Ledesma, the number 84.
Gonna assume the admins just felt that there were too many incidents and threw the caution. Because that was a lot going on throughout the field. Fortunately, everyone has a fast repair, but unfortunately, we got a lot of time left to be using them now. So didn't even make it a whole lap under green before the caution came out. A lot happened.
Lindsay Glass 6768 on your YouTube chat just asked, how can you join these races? LDogg, can you explain how these guys normally join the races here for Super Nitro?
Well, to join the races, we throw up hosted sessions under the Hosteds tab on the iRacing homepage, and to join them, you either need to look up Gallagher or LDogg or Super Nitro, and then anyone can race. The only requirements we have are that you have a Class C license and at least 1,500 iRating. Other than that, if you race clean, we'll let you keep coming, and if you want to be a part of the Discord to be eligible for prizes, like our $35 Summer Championship we're hosting right now, it's definitely a fun way to interact with the drivers. And we're open to anybody. That's what makes us different than running a league. We try to be as inclusive as possible when it comes to drivers. We don't care if you don't have the best skills. It's your shot to compete against some of the better drivers on the sim. Which that's the best part of iRacing. You can really measure up against guys that might be way out of your iRating range, especially in hosteds.
All right, so the lights are off here on the pace car. We're getting ready to go green. It's the same front row just from the start of the race. Just flip the 2 positions. We have Dylan Herberton and Kyle Dean that will lead us down to the green flag. And we'll go green here with 30 to go. We're back underway.
Once again, a very even start between those front 2. A lot more organized throughout the rest of the field. Gonna have to be careful heading through 1 and 2 this time. Try not to have another big wreck. And we do have one wreck. That's gonna take out a lot of trucks. Still keep it green. Actually, everyone mostly facing the right direction still, and we gotta move for the lead. Madonka to the inside. Dean to the outside. Madonka going to get clear. Tries to throw the slide job. Dean with the crossover, but gets tight. Has to stay behind the 46, and we have a new leader.
How
Meanwhile,
about Ricky Mandonka working his way to the lead there in that number 46, a newcomer here to the series. And we'll see what kind of surge this outside line's going to have. We got Kyle Dean there in the 3 with help from Derek Shaver in the 30.
definitely going to have a big run from the amount of draft that you do get here. As you see Dean get into the bumper of that 46. Going to try to make a move to the inside into turn 3, I would assume. There he goes to the inside. Going to have to drive it in there deep to get ahead. Still to the inside. Gets a little loose. Not able to complete the pass, and he's going to get freight trained down the front straightaway by the rest of these guys.
At that 67 of Dylan Herberton there on that outside is going to have a huge head of steam staying in this draft behind this number 46 of Ricky Mandonka. They're going to work their way through turn number 1. Oh, we saw a loose moment there for the 67, but he gets it right back into shape.
These guys definitely appear to be on the edge of control throughout most of these corners. Really fun to watch, though. The 3 of Dean has lost a lot of positions. When he got shuffled out and wasn't able to get back into the top lane to keep his momentum going, that really hurt him.
That 46 of Ricky Mandonka's got the clean air right now, but he might be under attack here soon from Dylan Herberton because he is closing in that gap. Here comes the 67.
Herberton gonna follow the 46 into the corner. Get a little tight from the dirty air, but he is trying to build a run down the back straightaway. Now the 46 starting to try to break the draft down the back straightaway. Actually succeeds a little bit. Able to get more breathing room than he's had in the last couple laps.
Yeah, smart move right there by the 46, trying to pull a maneuver that you typically see with the Indy cars at the Brickyard, or sorry, excuse me, the Indy 500. See a battle here for position. We got the 14 of Kyle Watlington side by side here with Derek Shaver for P3.
Yeah, Wallington definitely making some aggressive moves tonight. I feel like he's been in the middle of a lot of the craziness that's unfolded. Now side by side with Aaron May, actually able to slide back into line. Pretty big lead draft. Not a whole lot of shuffling positions. And Aaron May's going to make contact.
Sideways in 10.
Looked like he got the air taken off of him. Really impressive driving to not turn that thing around. See some of these guys towards the back half of the lead draft are starting to get impatient.
We still got a long way to go here. I mean, we're on lap 11 of this race. Still got 25 to go. It's going to be likely, if we stay green, a green flag run, it's really going to be about which driver can preserve that right front and right rear the most, especially once you get into this traffic. But the top 3 right now starting to pull away a little bit of the gap as Kyle Watlington tries to heat up the back bumper of this 67 of Dylan Herberton.
Those two are starting to catch Madonka. He's going to have to be aggressive with the aero blocking now, starting to try to break the draft down the front straightaway again. The 67 is going to be to the outside, and Watlington to the inside. That's going to hurt their momentum a little bit when they get side by side coming out of the corner. And the 67 is going to have a big run down the back straightaway. Going to try to make a move into turn 3.
Yeah, I wonder if this 46 may have pushed a little bit too hard early on in the run. You definitely don't want to make your tires angry, especially if you get a long green flag run. As we watch right behind him, that's Aaron May who's going to try to pull a slider on the 14, and he's going to get clear. So move Aaron May up to P3.
Ran the 14 all the way up to the wall, able to get it done. He's going to start working his way back up to the top 2. And the top 2 are still nose to tail. The 67 using that high line to try to build momentum. Gets the 46 a little loose in the middle of the corner. If you're that 46 truck, you got to start trying to move up the track. That top line just has so much momentum later into these runs. About to the point where we are now when the tires start to fall off.
Yeah, I'm looking at lap times right now from this 46. He's running a 40.31. He's still running okay lap times right now. Still top 5, top 10 style lap times but at the moment. But yeah, he's under attack right now from the 67 of Dylan Herberton. I think Herberton right now just trying to play the long game and pounce at the right time.
Well, Hervington has the car, just hasn't been able to get around him. Gotta wonder if he's waiting for the right moment. Wallington to the outside again, trying to build a run. That 14 has been very aggressive throughout most of this. And Shaver's going to throw.
Oh, just got turned by the 30.
Looked like Shaver tried to side draft him. Wallington off of the track, so I believe we're going to keep it green.
And caution's out because Michael Good's around as well in the 12.
Didn't even see that happening. You're going to have to take a look at the replay of that one. I was more focused on Wallington. So two separate incidents
I was
occurring
watching
at the
the
same
14,
time.
and the 12 just spun out right behind him a few seconds later once the 14 got the wheels back underneath that truck. But we had multiple trucks spin around, and that's why the caution flew on here on lap number 14.
Good driving by both of them to not hit anything. It is one of the good things about Michigan is you have a lot of room to avoid the wall when you do spin out. So looking back on the replay, looks like the 14's in line, and then Shaver just gets very aggressive with the side draft and turns him. Nothing too bad, kind of a racing incident. If I was the 14, I'd be a little annoyed. And then looking back at the spin for Michael Good, honestly looks like more of the same thing. Just the guy on the inside goes up for the side draft, and the guy on the outside isn't as close to the wall as they expect. And they get turned. Two near identical
That's Laney
crashes
Huffman in
happening
27
simultaneously.
that just got into the 12 of Michael Good. It looks like, yeah, like you said, they both one went high, one went low, and they just met the middle.
Really, no harm, no foul. Might got a lot of these guys are probably gonna have to burn a set of tires, but really, with no damage, it's not too much of a penalty unless we get a caution really late in the race. Being down a set is not gonna hurt you too bad. And pit road is a busy place right now.
Yeah, and that's not surprising either. Unlimited. Well, we got the tire sets. Might as well come in and take some tires if you need to. And looks like the winner off pit road is going to be Cody Hall in this number 15. Interesting call here from this 15 truck. Looks like fuel only.
Very interesting decision there. Usually you're going to see everybody go for tires. I thought you could make it on fuel, so not sure if he missed his pit box or if that was on purpose. Interesting call to get him up to the front. He's going to be a new face. If he is on older tires, like you said, that's got to be a little concerning for everyone behind him.
Yeah, it's an interesting call for sure on this number 15 of Cody Hall. I mean, looking at time and score, and he only had a 4-second pit stop on pit road, so that tells me it was only a fuel-only stop, which, I mean, these guys should have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way, but still, a big call here for the 15. Let's see if he stays out or if he comes down pit road again to put some tires on, but Cody Hall is going to take over the race lead of this race.
I don't know if that was the right call to make. We still got to wait to see how this plays out, but dirty air has seemed to be a factor. When the second place guy gets to the leader, he just can't get around him. Could be a good move. Really going to have to wait and see, though. As the pace car's lights goes off to signify that is 1 to green. So coming up on halfway, gonna reach the halfway point about as we go green. A little bit of a shaky start to this one with a couple big wrecks in the early laps, but it seems like we've settled into a pretty good rhythm. A lot of good racing throughout that lead draft. Seemed like they were getting aggressive in the back too, just wasn't able to show it.
Well, this is a good opportunity for these guys that were a few seconds behind the leaders to catch back up and regroup. Have another shot here at working their way toward the front. But if I'm the 15 of Cody Hall, I'm just doing the best I can here to stay in this lead pack. I mean, this 15 is probably going to sink like a rock on this restart, especially with those old tires. Saw during the long green flag run, a lot of guys were struggling with grip in turn number 3, trying to keep the rears underneath them. But this 15, he's got an interesting scenario here as the lone wolf on no tires. So we'll see how this all plays out here for this Hawaiian Airlines Toyota.
really got to be hoping everyone in the middle behind him is paying attention, because if he does drop the way that we think he might, if someone's not paying attention, that can lead to a big problem really fast. Well, the pace car pulls off. You see the 15 warming his old tires, heading into the restart zone, and the green flag is back out here at the Michigan International Speedway. And the 15 does not get a good start at all. Already taking 3 wide. We didn't even make it to turn 1 yet.
Yeah, we got Dylan Herverton going to the lead there after that 3 wide move. He saw what the 15 did on that pit stop, and going to stay in 4th place for now. But we got another wreck. That's Ethan Orzo, and the 17 almost went over.
A big wreck in the back of the field. Keeping it green for the moment. They're still wrecking back there. There are trucks all over the back straightaway.
There's nowhere to go and nowhere to hide right now, as you see the 3 of Kyle Dean there in the middle, along with the 15 of Cody Hall. And we haven't talked about Carlos Ortiz. He's gained 15 spots here from the start of this race right there in that number 59 InjuredCars.com Chevrolet.
Very good run by Ortiz so far. If he's able to maneuver his truck that well and pass that many people, he might be a factor towards the end of this. And we got more contact. Jarek Shaver making contact with the wall and the 18 of Larry Eddy. They're able to keep it under control. A lot going on towards the middle of the pack.
Oh, a contact. That's Aaron May, the 10, who's going to go through pit road.
Gonna have to take a look at what happened there. It doesn't look like he's slowing down. Gonna try to get his black flags cleared and merge back onto the track in the middle of the pack. Not sure what happened to start that sequence. Very chaotic on this restart. Meanwhile, the battle
is single file up front here.
Well, the battle for the lead does look like it's starting to heat up, as Badonka getting back to the bumper of Herverton. These two have appeared to be the strongest drivers in the race so far, but you might want to cue the Jaws music, because Marty Shamela is up to 3rd.
You got the pole setter Kyle Dean right there in 4th. I've been impressed with Carlos Ortiz in this 59 truck. He's going to try to get his way to the inside of the number 3 and work his way up to P4.
Ortiz definitely is a force to be reckoned with. Gotta wonder if he's hurting his tires by making so many passes, though. Still side by side with Dean coming out of turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway. Eventually able to slot into line, but I think he might be under attack from the 27 of Huffman into turns 1 and 2. And
ironic
at the front,
that the 2
we're
drivers
side by
that
side
spun
for the
out
lead.
in our previous call are actually right next to each other right there with Huffman and Watlington, 6th and 7th.
Didn't mean to interrupt you there, but we're side by side for the lead once again. Madonka trying to get the pass done on Herverton. Herverton tries to squeeze him down the track. Side by side, they might have made a little bit of contact, and we're still going to be side by side down the front straightaway. This is going to draw the rest of the drivers back into it.
7 and the 46, because here comes Shmela.
A crossover in the middle of the tri-oval. The more these guys are side by side, the more they're going to stall out their momentum and break the rest of this snarling pack of trucks into the battle. Shmela within a half a second now. The gap slowly dwindling. Gonna get to the bumper of Madonka. Tries to find a way around. Wasn't able to really do anything that time.
Now we got Shmela under attack now from the 27 of Laney Huffman. We saw who actually was part of the wreck with Michael Good on the previous caution. Has done a masterful job working her way through the field and is now up to P4 here, trying to get to the last spot on the podium here. Get around the number 8 of Marty Shmela.
A lot of guys have made their way through the field. There's been a lot more driving through the field than I expected going into this race. Which, that's what we want to see. We want to see a lot of passing and guys working their way through the field. She's going to look to the inside of Shamela for a moment coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, top 7 trucks right now only separated by 1.1 seconds back to the number 3 of Kyle Dean. As you see the number 46 of Mendonca right there trying to get another run to catch back up to the 67 of Herberton. But right now, it's still Dylan Herberton out front trying to get his first career win here in Super Nitro.
Going to be 10 laps to go next time by. Really got to wonder if Mendonca decided to start saving his tires or if he just really doesn't have the truck to get back to Herberton, because he has a lot of them behind him that I think have a shot to get there. Still have a lot of trucks on the lead lap as well, which not really a factor at the moment, but if we get another late race caution, that could mix things up at the front.
Yeah, this top 7 has probably got the best chance to win this race unless we get a yellow flag. You see this 46 just trying to get clean air any way possible on that nose. See him run a different line compared to the number 67 of Dylan Herberton. But yeah, I think this 46 is holding these guys up because now he's under attack from the 8 and the 27 here. As next time by, it'll be 10 laps to go.
The 46 doing a good job of playing defense, but you gotta, if I'm that 67, I'm real happy to see the 46 holding everybody up in my mirror. But if I'm the 8 or the 27, I'm getting very frustrated that we're not able to go anywhere.
And Lainey Huffman just got around Marty Schmela to work herself up to P3. You see her right there in the 27 Pinnacle Racing Group Chevrolet. Trying to work her way to the front. You see, might reach the back bumper here of the 46 of Ricky Mandoca. We'll see if he's going to give him a push. No, the 27 is going to go to the inside and go for P2.
The handling on that 46 is definitely going away. You could see the rear end starting to step out as they went through turns 3 and 4. I think the 27 is going to make quick work of him. Able to get clear before they exit the corner, and now she has a shot at the leader.
Yeah, last time by ran a 40.292 compared to the leader Herberton at a 40.41. So this 27 definitely has a shot. You see trying to throw that aero block right there on the 46 of Mandoca. And Mandoca, you see him chasing that truck up the racetrack.
Just don't think that the 46 has enough to get back up there. Might have been abusing his tires by running so hard, trying to chase the leader.
These leaders need to watch out because the 64 of Zachary Moss has got heavy right front damage. We'll see if he's going to be a hindrance here for the leaders. No, he's going to get out of the way.
The gap now down to about a half a second. 27 making up time was about 0.04 of a second faster the last time by, so not much. Gonna have to really work to make a move on Herberton. Meanwhile, Shamela and Ortiz working together to get around Mendonca, and they're gonna make contact. Mendonca
Yeah,
into
Marty
the
Schmela
outside
was
wall.
not happy with the 46 of Ricky Mandoca on the backstretch that previous lap. Mandoca cut him off and almost caused an accident. You saw he voiced his frustration with that door slam going into turn number 1 as Mandoca drops back to 5th and will be under attack here from Kyle Dean and Kyle Watlington.
And we got a wreck in the back, it looks like. Thought I saw a truck sideways. Not sure who it was. The lead starting to dwindle down for Herberton. Huffman's got it down to under 0.4 of a second now. Although the
Yeah,
top
those two ran pretty equal lap times that last time by, so we'll see how this all plays out. Ortiz in the 59, fastest truck on the track, though, at a 40.6.
Not sure if Ortiz has enough time to get there. He definitely seems to be one of the strongest trucks on the track, but just really no time left. They're about to be lapping somebody. Not sure who that is ahead of him.
That's Derek Slidell in the 51.
His truck has some pretty heavy damage, so hopefully he'll get out of the way and let this battle play out. trying to get out of the way. At least he's going to take away the bottom from Herverton. Might open up the door for Huffman for a little bit. Very unpredictable with the lap tracks on intermediates like this, especially multi-groove ones where you can run almost every lane. There's really nowhere for the lap cars to run and hide.
And Slidell doing the best he can. I can see visible damage there on that 51 JBL machine. Just trying to get out of the way. He's going to fall back in line here. It should be behind Marty Schmela, but just hoping for a caution and maybe repair some more damage. But it's 3 to go this time by here for Dylan Herverton.
Herverton's in a good spot. Just got to make it around a couple more laps. Swerving to break the draft a little bit. Ortiz is to the bumper of Huffman. Will he give her a push around the next lap or two to try to build some momentum?
It's pretty much go time at this point here with 3 laps to go. I think Herverton has this on the bag unless we got a yellow flag, but it's going to be 2 to go here from Michigan.
Herverton's put together a really impressive run through this race so far. Been one of the most dominant cars. But the 27 has a big run into the corner. She's going to make up a lot of time. Got a lapper in front of him.
That's Austin Russell in the 17 they're getting ready to catch up on. But right now, Herverton is still leading. Ortiz and Schmelo, the 2 fastest trucks right now on the racetrack, but I just don't think they're going to have enough time to catch up.
Herverton comes around to take the white flag, and Ortiz makes a pass for second. That really takes away any chance they had to get up to the front once again. So 3-car battle for second, and the leader has checked out.
Ortiz has gotten clear for second. Schmela's now to the inside of the 27 of Laney Huffman for P3, but it's going to be all she wrote here. And it's a crash. That's Huffman going around off the bumper of Schmela, and Schmela has crashed as well.
That's going to take both of them out of really good finishing positions. Not going to matter, though, because Herverton's going to come around to the front straightaway, and Dylan Herverton gets his first Super Nitro win. And I have to take a look at what happened to Shamela and Huffman. Both of those trucks completely destroyed. Herverton with a great drive throughout the field. Just definitely very, very impressive run. To start at the front and maintain it the whole race with so many hard chargers behind him. Well, heading to the front straightaway to do his victory burnout. Oh, and it looks like he's going to do a good burnout here. Very excited to get his first win. Always exciting to see these guys get their first wins on the stream.
Yeah, it felt like the 67 was the fastest truck here tonight, and played that truck to his advantage. Was able to get a win by 0.6 of a second over Carlos Ortiz.
Fortunately, I don't believe he's in the Discord server. Not 100% sure, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get an interview. It's kind of unfortunate because it'd be really interesting to talk to him about that run.
Over the rest of the top 10 as well, while we see the 67 burned down. Carlos Ortiz gained 21 spots to finish P2. Kyle Watlington, the great run in P3. Aaron May, who we saw go through pit road during that green flag run, ends home 4th. And Larry Eddy gained 17 spots to round out our top 5. And then Abram Gostin finished 6th. Ricky Mandaka fell back to 7th. And then it was Cody Hall on those old tires, held on to 8th place. Derek Shaver 9th, and Bradley Schmela will round out our top 10.
really, really good racing throughout the field. Unfortunate that what happened to Huffman and Shamela, those two probably not going to be real happy with each other going into next week if both of them race again. Overall, a very solid race, a very solid night of racing in general. We had everything. We had some big ones. We had a couple flips. We had some good old-fashioned short track racing. I don't know if you can ask more from a night like this.
Yeah, it was a great night of racing overall. We did see Talladega was expected to be the most chaotic race, and it sure was. And I feel like it toned down once we got into the later half of the races. So overall, good night of racing here in Super Nitro.
Seems like a short track, an intermediate, and a super speedway are a pretty balanced schedule for a night. Might want to keep that formula in mind for future ones. Well, as we welcome you guys back up to the booth, we're going to be wrapping things up now. Really, not much else to talk about, really. It's pretty hectic start to the night, but everyone was able to calm it down and start running better racing. I don't believe Dylan is in the Discord server for us to interview, so I don't really. Or is he trying to join? Oh, Dylan Herberton did just join the Discord. Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview.
Guys,
Hey, Dylan, it's the guys in the booth. You got us?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Very exciting to see you get your first win on the stream.
Yeah, man, it's great. I'm happy to be here. I just showed up and yeah, won. So that's kind of cool. I don't know. I had a bunch of guys in the chat complaining about how good they were, but none of them finished first. So I don't really know what the big deal was.
Well, it definitely seemed like you were the class of the field in that race. Everybody was trying to get around you and just couldn't.
Yeah, man, no, it's hard. The truck was very, it drove very weird in traffic. You almost had to be the leader because it's the only way that it drove stable. I was trying to help my boy Ricky Van Donce out there at the front. Him and I were trying to, boot, scoot, and boogie that thing out front and get away from the field. And we had it for a minute, but, it got that caution there, and then he started to suck. So I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he abused his tires and kind of fell back through the field.
It's easy to do, man.
Anything you want to say to the live chat on the Discord or not on YouTube, I mean?
Well, you know what? I'm just happy for everybody watching. I don't know what this is for. I just kind of showed up here. It was in a hosted. I'm happy to be here. Super cool. Love winning. Winning is awesome. It's the best feeling in the world. And yeah, man, like I said, a lot of guys were coming in the chat. They were talking smack to each other about how good they were and comparing stats. But neither one of them were finishing first. So, like I said, it's hard, man. I don't know what to tell them.
Well, asking what this is for, this is basically it. We just want to run hosted sessions under an actually well-run sanctioning body and just to have a good time. Which I think we've been doing a good job of doing that so far tonight. Hopefully we can see you in
definitely,
future races.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'll have to go back and watch the live stream, and yeah, man, maybe you guys can get something going here. Get a couple good guys in there, and get 20 or 30 good guys, and get a league running. It's a lot more entertaining, and you don't have as many cautions and all that. You get a bunch of good guys in there running around. It makes it fun. Gives you guys something to root for because everybody's racing super hard. I know I was making some crazy moves trying to put on a show, but hey, man, you never know what it could turn into. So.
Well, happy to have you in the Discord now. Congratulations on your first win.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a good night. And like I said to the live chat, if those two people were watching, you didn't finish first. So, all right. That's my ego boost for the night. You guys have fun. Thank you for having me, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Yeah, thanks for racing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Looks like we also have Aaron May in the booth. Aaron, what on earth happened, and how did you end up on pit road?
I don't know.
I didn't quite catch the beginning of that. The next time I look over, you're flying down pit road at 190 miles an hour.
I think I got tight. Somebody got loose and we collided, and then I just had to go down pit road to save it. And then he started fussing at me saying that's what I get. And then he kept on, and finally I had enough of it. I started talking back to him like, dude, you're not even winning the race. Why are you talking this much smack?
It definitely sounds like there was a lot of smack talk going on in the race that time.
He was talking about saying, "Oh, what position are you in?" and stuff. I'm like saying I would have been higher if I didn't got sent down pit road like that. I was able to climb back to the top 5 at least because they just started wrecking up front, and I was actually had good pace on the final run there. So
It seems like you got a pretty decent finish, didn't you?
I got 4th.
Well, that's pretty good. Kind of got
I
gifted two
finished higher
positions.
than that guy. Talk all that smack, and I finished higher than you. That's sad.
Aaron, I do want to ask you, since we talked Dylan Herbertson just a few seconds ago, how did the truck feel overall in traffic? Because Dylan kind of made a good point that it felt like you had to be in clean air just to be able to move your truck around. Talk to us about your race and how you managed the traffic as best as you could.
Yeah, I was here at Michigan. You just got to be so patient when you're trying to make your moves. And when you do try to make a move, you got to make it quick because if you don't, you're going to get freight trained on the outside. So you just got to think ahead about what moves you're going to make. And as for the dirty air, yeah, it was really bad tonight. But luckily, the truck was handling a lot more looser in dirty air than it was tight. So I actually liked that. So that showed a good sign, and really that's honestly how I was able to get right back to the top 10 at least by myself after being sent down pit road because the truck actually felt good being loose and stuff and being able to rotate like I wanted it to, but just couldn't get the win because fell behind.
When you say looser, do you mean as the trailing truck or like you getting the air taken off of you?
Trailing.
That's interesting. Usually it feels like it gets tight in most tracks.
It usually does, but today it just got loose. I enjoyed it.
Oh, this was a really fun night yet again. Got some really good racing. Uh Starting to wind down for the night. You got anything you would like to say to the viewers? I guess he doesn't have anything. Well, really just trying to wind down. Thank you to everybody who came out to race tonight. Thank you to all of the viewers for tuning in. We'll try to be putting up some more sessions soon. Might be next week, might be this weekend. Gotta kind of wait and see where we are. But as always, thank you for tuning into tonight's Super Nitro. Also, be sure to check out Speed Demon Racing Network on YouTube. That's Ryan's channel, and he does a really good job broadcasting Rebel Valley on there. So just give him a shout out. Thank him for coming into the booth tonight. And with that, we'll see you next time, and just